Jason DeRusha.
Are you ready? All right.
Now live on your radio and streaming to the world at WCCORadio.com and the Odyssey app. Here's Jason DeRusha.
All right, we are on the air on time. The Minnesota Twins are in rain delay. They are tied in Cleveland 2-2. It's Jason. Welcome to Drive Time. I was up late last night enjoying the thrashing. Was it a thrashing? No. But if you told me that the Minnesota Timberwolves were going to win in 5 games, I would have said, come on. I don't think so. Awesome victory for the Timberwolves as they go on to round 2. Tonight, the Minnesota Wild are in action at XCel Energy Center. And all of that, look, this isn't the sports show, right? This isn't, you don't tune in for DeRusha's hot takes on sports. But it does go to how much sports brings us together. When big events go on, everybody says like, sports people, you can get the news wherever. You can go be listening to sports radio. You can be watching sports TV. But sports becomes the top story when it is the top story, right? When we're winning, when we're in the playoffs, or when it's Viking season. Sports is the topic. It's the A topic of conversation around here. Right now, the Minnesota Wild and the city of St. Paul are asking for money. And it's a conversation that we better get used to because you know that the new owners of the Timberwolves are going to be asking for money too. Does anyone like giving money to professional sports team ownership? Does anybody like it? No. You're talking about people who are billionaires to be able to afford a team. And when they sell the team, the payday is enormous. It's why people have such frustration with the current ownership of the Twins. The poll ads saying, the poll ads are saying they're losing money, which they are losing money in a cash flow sense. But when you sell the team, ka-ching. So in a time when the state of Minnesota is looking at cutting back spending money to send kids on the bus to go to private schools, an old program that I think should be cut anyway. But regardless, the state is looking at cutting money to pay for buses for kids to get to school, to pay for nurses in those schools. It is difficult to say, sure, City of St. Paul, I know you own XCel Energy Center, whatever that thing's going to be called in the future. That still feels like you're giving the Minnesota Wild $350 million. And who wants that? Nobody. Nobody. But I think it has to be done. I do support it reluctantly. Because we can deal with fantasy land and we can deal with reality, and we can have both of those conversations at the same time. And for those of you who think we should not spend taxpayer dollars to fix up a clearly outdated arena that is owned by the city of St. Paul, an arena that, quite frankly, is literally the only thing that downtown St. Paul has going for it right now. That and the Ordway. Outside of the Ordway Theater and XCel Energy Center, which also the River Center is part of that whole complex. Give me one thing going on in downtown St. Paul outside of that. There's nothing. Laura Oakes talked with Craig Leipold, owner of the Wild. Craig could pay for this, right? He could. And today the city of St. Paul said, all right, we also are going to deal with reality. And the reality is there ain't no way the legislature is going to spend this money to fix up the X. But if we do the usual Minnesota thing, which is posture and preen and not vote for it and not do it, what's going to happen? We're going to do it anyway, and it's going to cost 3 times more because we dragged our feet and delayed and made our little political statements about how much we care about the unhoused instead of the billionaire's house. We should do the reasonable thing for sure what the city and what the Wild is asking for now, which is $50 million for the state, feels reasonable to me. 651-461-9226. We're going to hear from you. But first, I want to hear from Craig Leipold. Laura Oakes just talked with the owner of the Wild not long ago. Take a listen to this.
Tell me a little bit about this scaled back request, Craig, and why you guys think maybe you'll have a shot now without such an ambitious number. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Laura. You bet. And thanks for the time. So you're right. The request is scaled back, but we're not scaling back on the design or the benefits of what we're doing in our arena. So as you're likely aware, our original request included money for the 80-year-old auditorium, the Roy Wilkins, also to enhance and make a little bit larger the convention center. We've moved that off, and we're going to be coming back to the legislature down the road in other years. So we're now concentrating only on the arena and that's our priority. And so the arena that we are now presenting to the state is one in where the city will obviously own the arena as it does now. And the city contacted us last week. We got into a room and we basically all talked about we need to do something dramatically different. This is, we have 3 weeks to get this voted on. So we all agreed, let's just concentrate on the arena and make the request for the state participation the lowest request made by a sports franchise, I would say this century, since before 2000. And, we feel like now the buzz is, that there's really a really good chance that we can get it approved this year. We're getting good comments from legislators and, we're excited. We're excited for our fans. We're excited for downtown St. Paul. And we think now is the time to get this project passed.
Why is this so very important? Not just because of the arena's old in the sense of an NHL arena, but just for trying to bring back some vibrancy to downtown St. Paul and keep some of this nice momentum going that we're having right now with the Wild.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's this is a wonderful city. And we love St. Paul, and we feel like we're the engine for downtown St. Paul. We want to keep it going. If the longer we wait, the more expensive this arena gets. And it's not to the point where it's so old that it needs to be torn down and rebuilt. The bones are just fine. So we are going to completely renovate the inside and put new offerings in for our fans and our customers and all the events that come to this facility. We're roughly 50 home games a year, and there's another 100 events that are used by our community, by the high schools, by all of the incredible artists that come to the Twin Cities and play here in this arena. So, we think it's vitally important for the downtown, but honestly, also for the health of the Wild. The amenities that we have for our fans are way outdated. This arena was designed back in the late 1990s, and so many new things have happened that we think it's important to fix the arena and fix it right.
And are you optimistic that they'll side with you?
I am cautiously optimistic. I will work as hard as humanly possible in the next 3 weeks. We're lucky we have a mayor in St. Paul that recognizes the value of this facility in this city and what it does for all of our downtown and our businesses, Eco Lab and Travelers and Securian. They absolutely love the fact that we're trying to create more energy downtown and more energy gives a feeling of safety and security for their employees, and they want to get more employees back to work, and they think that this is another good step in that direction.
All right, that's Craig Leipold. What say you? Should the state of Minnesota step up to help support the Minnesota Wild home in St. Paul? Or do you think these owners should have to pay for it themselves, and maybe we should be the front line of a community that says no, enough? 651-461-9226. Text, calls, your side of this story coming up next here on CCO.
More Drive Time with DERUSHA is on the way following these messages on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, let's talk about skincare. Let's talk about taking care of yourself, and let's talk about my dermatologist, the number one name when it comes to taking care of your skin, and that name is Tureen. Jason DeRusha here. For my friends at Tureen Dermatology, I go see Dr. Mohiba Tureen. So does my wife. So do my kids. And this May, it's May 1st, it's Skin Cancer Awareness Month. Skin cancer awareness is something that we talk about here all the time because we know the numbers. 1 in 5 of you will develop skin cancer by the time you turn 70. That's a lot. 1 in 5 with skin cancer. You probably know someone who's dealt with it. If you catch it early, especially if we're talking about melanoma, which can be a deadly form of skin cancer, if you catch it early, 99% survival rate. What's the best way to catch it? Full body skin checkup. Make an appointment to get that done. If you've never had it done, it is easy. I do it every year. My dad has skin cancer. I don't want to mess around with it. Tureen Dermatology will take care of you. 26 certified providers at 9 different locations. Unbelievable. They'll get you in within 3 weeks. Brand new in Lakeville and in Lindstrom. Hudson is pretty new. Go see them today. You can make an appointment online. You do it at Tureen, Tareen, dermatology.com.
You've yelled at the radio before. Now do it where we can actually hear you.
This makes no sense, and all you're doing is losing listeners.
It's the voice message feature on the Odyssey app.
I'm sorry. I just have to disagree with what you just said there.
And yes, your rant, hot take, or insanely keen observation could end up on air.
I feel safer downtown now than I did 3 years ago.
Speak now or keep yelling at the dashboard. Your call.
Think about it for a second, please.
No hold music, no middleman. Leave us a voice message on your time, anytime, via the Odyssey app.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
but day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
LLS provided immediate financial support that helped me keep my business going through treatment.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
Dave Lee with some exciting news. The Aquarius Home Services and Connecticut Customer Appreciation Open House is happening May 2nd through 4th. Save up to 30% on Connecticut water systems. Water filters 20% off. Heating and cooling systems up to 30% off. Plus savings on generators, water heaters, and more. Be sure to bring a water sample for a free analysis. Savings, food, and fun for everyone. It's all happening May 2nd through 4th in Little Canada at 694 and 35E. Details at AquariusHomeservices.com.
For over 8 years, QC Kinetics has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain, with over 50,000 satisfied patients. People with knee and back pain now living pain-free, shoulder and hip pain, gonzo. Hey, it's Adam Carter. What they're doing is nothing short of remarkable. They're using regenerative cell therapy to to restore the tissue in your achy joints. QC Kinetics is using biologic growth factors with robust healing properties carefully and strategically placed into your joint. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life, repairing old tissue. And the best part, QC Kinetics, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. It's an all-natural, cellular-level option with lasting relief. So what are you waiting for? Give QC Kinetics a call today for a free consultation. Learn more about these cutting-edge treatments that can help you live your best life. 612-254-7123. 612-254-7123. 612-254-7123.
Thinking about buying or selling a business? The right legal team makes all the difference. At Helmuth & Johnson, our team specializes in sophisticated mergers and acquisitions, guiding you through every negotiation, contract, and closing with skill and precision. From due diligence to deal structuring, we are 100% client-focused, protecting your interests so you can focus on success. Big or small, we make complex transactions seamless. Visit hjlawfirm.com. That's hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side for all of your business needs.
What's happening? If it's happening in your neighborhood, if it's happening in the Twin Cities, if it's happening in Minnesota, it's on News Talk 830 WCCO.
We are at a rain delay for the Minnesota Twins. Twins in Cleveland knotted at 2. They delayed this thing in the bottom. Are we in the top of the 9th? Did we finish the 8th?
I think we're in I think.
I don't know. Man, what,
You never know.
You never know. Someone knows, Josh.
End of the 7th. So
All
we
right.
haven't started the 8th yet.
All right, very good. We're talking about a pared back proposal from the city of St. Paul and the Minnesota Wild. Originally, they were asking for some big bucks, $769 million, half of it from the state, the rest from the Wild and the city. Now they're asking for $488 million. $200 million would come from St. Paul and local partners, which we don't exactly know what that means. And if you think it's a lock that the city of St. Paul is going to approve, that the city council, Minneapolis gets all the headlines for being the most progressive or crazy. You use the word you want. They're ambitious, that city council. And we will talk later about the city council finally at Minneapolis carving out a protection for our short kings and short queens and our fatties. Good news. Back in my tubby days, this would have been great news. You can't discriminate against me. And at 5'10", am I at risk for anti-tall guy discrimination? Hell yes, I am. You know what the women are looking for. 6'5", blue eyes, finance. That's what they're looking for. We are talking about XCel Energy Center. Do you think any state money should be used? I think yes. The X is an unbelievable resource for the city of St. Paul and for the wider community. That venue, home of the high school hockey state tournaments, endless community events that go on there. I do think part of the deal today is that you're expected to pay for this. The city owns it now. So the city has to fix it up, or what? What is your plan for those of you who say not a dime? 651-461-9226. Lots of text coming in on the CCO Talk and Text line. No, let them pay for their own renovation. Do you think fans are going to stop coming if they don't do the massive renovation? I doubt it. Are the seats falling apart? Is it rat infested? Is the paint peeling? Those situations would warrant a renovation for sure. So, the discussions on this stuff it's always so silly. Like, yes, I get it. I went to the Wild playoff game last Thursday. Josh Wheeler, who's in for Dan today, was upset that he wasn't there, that I was there. So I'm there, and in your seat, watching the game, it's tremendous. that arena is tremendous. Great viewing lines. It's in great shape for a 25-year-old facility. Soon as you walk out of your seats into the concourse, you realize like how dated this place is. And then if you've ever been behind the scenes, which is a big factor when you're trying to attract big-name concerts, big-name entertainers, the behind the scenes is terrible. The loading dock is a joke. The back area is, well, it's just what you would have designed 25 years ago. It is not designed to handle what we're doing today. The HVAC, the electrical, the plumbing, like sort of the boring stuff. When you have a 25-year-old facility that gets used the way the Wild and the city use that facility, like that stuff needs to be replaced, and it's expensive. It's not about rats or peeling paint or whatever. But when the city owns it, now you're sort of on the hook. I do think the city of Minneapolis will have more leverage when it comes to a new facility for basketball because, those guys have a ton of money. Maybe they're going to say that they'll pay for it. Now, will we have to pay? Yeah. You'll have to pay for road reconfiguration, sewer improvements, bop, 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 bop. Maybe you have to buy some land, buy a skyscraper that you're knocked down. I don't know. But like some of this stuff, we pay for this stuff. I think it's a little bit of fantasy land to be like, we're not going to pay for it. Josh, don't you?
Yeah. I think people too often correlate the hockey team with the arena when you made the point. There's a lot more that happens at the X than just hockey. And it gets weathered and torn and used up over 25 years. Am I 100% in support of that arena getting renovated? No. Yeah. I've made the case numerous times that Target Center is beyond needing a rent. I know they did a facelift in 2017, but that it still is.
You can't really renovate your way out of the issues with that thing.
Yeah, and imagine the chaotic construction that would take place in the downtown area with that. That would be a disaster to deal with in our area.
True.
But, I get this arena needs a little bit of uplifting, if you will. It's still kind of a comfortable-looking arena. But like you said, once you get into, like, the bathrooms and some of the areas of the arena, you can tell it's kind of dated.
It's hard. I do understand the emotion to say these owners should have to pay for their own stuff. But we subsidize Target building their headquarters. We subsidize different things that we think are good for our community. I do think having an entertainment sports facility is good for the community. Texter from 320. Jason, these owners are making mega bucks when they own a team. I think they need some skin in the game. Say a third of the cost requested. So that is what the Wild is saying they're going to put forward. The city would pay $200 million. The state would pay $50 million. And then the Wild would pay $238 million plus any cost overruns. So basically, this is what I think the formula for this is going to be. The state money helps, update plumbing and improve security. And you can say, well, those are in the public interest. The team money does like the good stuff that most of us care about. Richard is on the CCO Talk and Text line. Richard, thanks for listening. Go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, question for you. Here's a big question is, do they ever disclose their financial statements? The city of St. Paul, I mean, we go to a lot of concerts, a lot of games. A concert costs you $100, $150, $200 to go to a concert. Who's making the money? Where does the money go? I know the entertainers get a lot of money,
right?
But how much is the venue making for the city?
That's a very good question. I mean, obviously, there's all of the tax revenue, the sales tax. So every drink you buy, there's a food and beverage tax on that. Like you don't see it in the price, right? Because it's just all inclusive with the taxes. But there is.
But if there's a concert that makes $50 million, where's the money go?
Yeah.
Who's got it?
I think mostly it goes to the promoter and the artist, right? Like the city. I'm not, but this is a very good question. I'm sure because it is a public entity, there are reports, but I'm sure they also, for competitive reasons, will never give you a real answer to this stuff, right? Because they're competing against Target Center for these acts and all of that. But no, that's a valid question. You know, can you make the arena pay for itself? You know, and you issue bond money
going somewhere.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. Thanks for the call, Richard. I appreciate it. There is a lot of money involved here. What else does St. Paul have? Like, not to be totally negative about downtown St. Paul right now, but downtown St. Paul kind of sucks. And so if you are, you know, I mean, and we'll talk to a state senator coming up at the 5 o'clock hour about this because it's tricky. Republicans don't want to spend money. Progressives don't want to give money to billionaires. So you're trying to cobble together this coalition of people in the middle who no one's really happy about it. I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
But also, like, and they're not, Leipold has been very smart in not playing the, like, well, I could move it somewhere else game.
Yes.
But, like, he could, right? Don't you think Bloomington would love to have this arena? They sure would. Would Maple Grove love to have it? Would look
Blaine,
at
we heard
Egan.
about Blaine expanding and debating.
Blaine is building that whole entertainment. So for sure, suburbs could come into play. I do think that you get a statewide benefit by bringing action in an entertainment sense into the center cities. You may disagree. We'll talk about this more for sure. Let's break. Twins are in a rain delay. It is raining in Cleveland. It is what are we in here? They delayed it in the top of the 8th, so they finished 7. It's tied up 2-2, but they are in a delay. We'll go back to it if they get back to action or if they call the game. We'll update you on that as well. Let's get you up to date on the weather and the traffic around here, and we'll do that next.
In a world of small talk and hot dish diplomacy, one team dares to go where others won't. We sent our intrepid reporters deep undercover into the wilds of Minnesota. You know, the cul-de-sacs, bait stores, and coffee shops, all to uncover what Minnesotans are really saying about the issues of the day.
Checked my 401k this morning. Now I just call it a 201k.
We have 2 seasons winter, and I hope your shocks are under warranty.
Where the mosquitoes are faster than my Wi-Fi. Real talk from the land of 10,000 opinions. Happens every day on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
My name is John David Carpton.
Dr. Kimberly Stegmeyer.
Dr. Edith Perez.
I'm a medical oncologist.
And I focus on cancer prevention.
People are always asking me, why?
Why do I do this work?
2 words come to mind for me. One is responsibility. The other is purpose.
There was a child that, I took care of and adored, and she said to me, Dr. Kim, will you remember me forever? Sorry. It's been a hard year.
Every day I think of the faces of patients when I see their smiles, when I tell them that new treatments are helping their lives.
It's just so inspiring to do research that impacts human lives.
Stand Up to Cancer has been a critical partner in advancing research for cancer.
Cancer research saves lives.
So please help us fight in this battle against cancer.
Be a part of the team that ends cancer at standuptocancer.org.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
Crash working on 494 northbound near County Road 6. Look for the activity to be off the left side into the left lane just a tad. In the meantime, it is slow as you make way through the area heading up toward Bass Lake Road. West 94 near Creedon Avenue, waiting for a crash there to clear out. In the meantime, it is slow as you come away from Selling Avenue heading into downtown Minneapolis. North 169 is heavy. Highway 62 all the way up toward the area of Rockford Road. And 10 westbound jamming up as move past Egret heading up to Round Lake Boulevard. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
A little bit of cloudy weather out there right now. Let's get the latest from Chris Schaefer.
Rain showers move out tonight, falling back to 44. Tomorrow's going to be the coolest day of the week, only a high of 54. At least it's Friday. We'll have a mostly cloudy sky, then the sunshine breaks out this weekend. Sunny both days, highs up near 70 Saturday, near 75 on Sunday.
All right, right now it is 66 degrees on CCO.
The best place for open discussion and debate. News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, since we're in a rain delay here, I decided we might continue a little bit of sports talk here in our first hour. Because what excitement last night. I stayed up late. I don't know. Did you guys stay up? How could you not? It was so exciting last night. So close. The Minnesota Timberwolves, with an abysmal night, shooting from three-point land, were put on the incredibly tall shoulders of Rudy Gobert, who willed the team to victory. Tonight, it's the Wild's turn. I thought we should visit with Howard Sinker, who is the editor of Sports Take. Used to be an editor at the Star Tribune, now writing for the Blois Olson Daily Agenda Empire, and he's with us at the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Howard, good to visit with you.
Good to be here, Jason. How are you?
You were up. Did you stay up through the whole thing? Tell the truth.
Yes, I stayed up through the whole thing, and I was writing for 2 hours afterwards.
Biggest thing that surprised you with the Minnesota Timberwolves, really handling their business with the Lakers in 5 games.
You know, Jason, I'm not as surprised as other people were. There were some things that really worked in the Timberwolves' favor in this series. And the thing I'm going to point out is that where the Lakers are with the acquisition of their superstar Luka Doncic was a lot like where the Wolves were earlier in the season when they picked up Julius Randle. And the Wolves were playing as a team, and the Lakers were playing like superstars who weren't used to playing with each other, and they were playing old. Even if the Lakers had won last night, I was really confident that the Wolves would eventually win the series because, LeBron is 90 years old. The Lakers have no depth on their bench, and Chris Finch just totally outcoached J.J. Redick.
Yeah, and J.J. Redick, I think, personally, I think he's getting maybe a little too much of the blame in this thing. So goes coaching, I guess. But his lineup, the players he had available to him, it just didn't have the depth. It didn't have the experience. It didn't have the talent that the Wolves bench had.
Right. Oh, the Wolves were a significantly deeper team, and the Lakers couldn't even use their usual starting five.
Yeah.
And that handicapped him. And I just think that he tried things. Using the same five players for the entire second half of
That was
Game
wild.
4,
That was wild.
It was a failure, but the result was the same either way. The Wolves pulled ahead in the fourth quarter of every game in the series. So it was one of those things where the Wolves were in, or the Lakers were in the position that we imagined the Wolves were going to be in.
Yes.
And that's just...
and that's why I think the J.J. Redick hate is a little bit overblown. I mean, because they were right there in it. It's not like they were blown out. It's not like his decisions were so ludicrous. They still had a chance to win Game 4 if they hit that shot from the corner that they missed.
Sure,
So,
and he's a very good coach, but that tells you what Chris Finch
Yeah,
is.
good point.
I mean,
Yep.
he's a top 5.
I think
my
so, too.
opinion, and I don't think that's appreciated now either nationally or even locally.
No, and, I hate to be, as we talk with Howard Sinker from Sports Take, I hate to be like the cliche Minnesota fan, but it was annoying that when the Wolves beat the Lakers, you watch the national coverage, and they still, show you all these highlights about how the Lakers didn't win. You're like, give us a little credit here. The Timberwolves, which essentially no one nationally was picking to win, which is sort of absurd. I mean, the regular season records, these teams, we could have been the 3 seed. I mean, it's not like this is the typical sort of 3-7 split, right?
Right. The Lakers were a very easy prediction to make compared to any of the others.
For
and
sure.
It was the same thing with gamblers. Bookmakers are raking it in because people bet the Lakers even when the odds reach 2-1 on the entire series.
What a shame, Howard. Don't you feel bad for I feel so bad for those people
absolutely
who lost.
not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. You put your money down, you take your chances, and next time just throw the $20 bill out the window.
Who do you want to see the Wild play next up?
I don't think there's a bad. I wouldn't mind either team. Frankly, it comes down to it would be more fun, I think, to play Golden State because the Wild would get the Wolves would get the extra home game, and you've got Jimmy Butler and you've got Steph Curry, and I don't care that Golden State beat the Wolves in all 3 games during the regular season. This really is starting over again with a team that's healthy and with a team that has finally integrated Julius Randle into the mix and done it very, very well.
How fun has that been? It is the promise that we, a lot of us felt Julius had, and it's, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I just want to enjoy the good times. Like your newsletter today said, that we can have nice things, Minnesota fans, but the nice thing is that they got it together at the right time.
Right. I mean, when the trade was made, I thought it was a good trade. I thought it would take part of the season to get everything together. I was surprised that it took almost the entire regular season, but there is nothing that having Karl Anthony Towns would have remedied about the problems that the Timberwolves had this year.
Yeah.
Plus, you would have been facing the financial cliff at the end of the year.
Correct.
So not only are good things happening right now, but it really, really bodes well for the future.
Howard, the Wild in action tonight. They got to win tonight. I feel like we had more intensity, kind of beginning to end, 3-period intensity in games 1 through 3 than I've seen in games 4 and 5. What's sort of your view on what the Wild need to do to get it together tonight?
Boy, Jason, I think that's a really good point. One of the reasons why I'm somewhat optimistic right now about the Wild is they didn't play well in games 4 and 5.
Right.
They made mistakes that ended both of the games in overtime. As much as they struggled in Game 5, they came within several inches side call of winning that game in regulation. It's not like the Wild is playing way above their heads. and just managing to hang in there, and then you just have to hope for something good to happen. If the Wild plays its game, plays the way it can play, I'm not going to be. I mean, it'll be a little bit of an upset. It'll be a little bit of a surprise if they go on to the next round, but it's not like the playoff problems they've had in recent years, or not making the playoffs at all.
Texters are texting in about this Twins rain delay where it's 2-2 right now in Cleveland, top of the 8th where this thing was delayed. If you sort of don't know what to cheer for the way the Twins have played the last couple of games in late innings.
Close game with Cleveland is really, really a dangerous
maybe
thing.
we want them just to call the game, take the tie, and call it a day. I don't know.
Yeah, I resume at some other time, go to Boston, get a nice dinner, and then play the Red Sox.
It's not bad. Howard, we appreciate you. Thanks for visiting with us, and you can subscribe to Sports Take at thedailyagenda.com. That's Blois's morning take, lunch take, drive time take. There's so many takes, but you are in charge of the Sports Take, so we appreciate it.
Thanks for visiting. Take care.
Howard Sinker with us on Drive Time. 3:49 when we come back. We are going to talk, what are we talking about? Oh, I want to talk about health care for illegal immigrants because I think we should pay for it. It's a hot topic. We'll talk about it when we come back.
More Drive Time with DERUSHA is on the way following these messages on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, let's talk about Chris Lindahl and that guaranteed cash offer because I was talking to my friend Chris just the other day, and Chris told me that the guaranteed cash offer is bumping right now. It is bumping. They call him the arms out realtor because you know the arm, you know how to do the Lindahl. Arms out. You're doing it. You see it on the billboard, maybe if you're driving home right now. The guaranteed cash offer is so hot right now because everything is so uncertain. Interest rates are up, they're down. You don't know what the market's going to be like, what pricing is going to be like, what the buyers are going to expect in the spring market. Go to chrislindahl.com. Get the process started for a guaranteed cash offer. You're in control of the whole thing. You pick your closing date. You pick your moving date. You decide if you like the offer or not. But more and more people are choosing that offer. Chris told me he had one of his best months ever last month because people just don't want to deal with the uncertainty. You don't have to. chrislindahl.com. Get yourself a guaranteed cash offer and start packing. Terms and conditions may apply.
WCCO Records brings you all your favorites. The greatest hits of a Minnesota spring. The can't-miss tunes for a typical April and May in Minnesota.
You're as cold as ice.
And this collection wouldn't be complete without...
Here comes the sun.
From snow boots to flip-flops, the soundtrack of spring is heard and covered here.
It's all right.
News Talk 830 WCCO.
Sometimes it snows in April.
Album not sold in stores.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show. But there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Advantage Seamless Gutters is now Advantage Home Pros. New look, same pros. Still locally owned and now taking care of all your gutter and roofing needs. Spring cleanup is just around the corner. Don't spend your weekends on a ladder cleaning your gutters when you could be spending time with family and planning that fishing trip. Trust your local gutter pros, Advantage Home Pros. Now your local custom roofing pros with the highest quality workmanship and materials. Our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros, Advantage Home AdvantageHomePros.com.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
We've got a crash working North 494 as you make way toward County Road 6 off the left side. Things are slow as you come up from Excelsior Boulevard. 494 is jammed up both directions between Portland Avenue and West Bush Lake Road. South 35W slows as you make your way past 98th Street, heading down to Cliff Road. And 694 eastbound, that's going to be a long, slow ride. 252 heading out toward Rice Street. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn McCreevy invites you to a free seminar for pre-planning your funeral and cremation services to help protect your family in the future. Enjoy food visit with speakers from the Glenhaven Funeral Chapel and Memorial Gardens Thursday, May 8th at noon at Redstone American Grill, Maple Grove. For information, go to washburnmccreevy.com. Seating is limited.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
All right, weather is brought to you by Washburn McCreevy Funeral, Cremation, and Pre-Planning Services. Tonight, the showers will move out, low of 44. Tomorrow, 54. Not great, but Saturday and Sunday, gonzo, so good. Sunny, 70 on Saturday, 75 on Sunday. Cannot wait. Right now, it is 58 on CCO.
Trusted news and talk you can count on.
And you'll hear all the news, complete, authoritative, and concise.
News Talk 830 WCCO.
I understand why people are freaking out about the fact that the state of Minnesota is paying for undocumented people having health insurance. Minnesota Care, the state health insurance. And you're wrong. You're wrong. It feels good to say, like, well, times are tight. We can't be spending money on people who shouldn't even be in this state. There's a big debate at the legislature right now. It's become one of the big issues that Republicans are hanging on to here in this debate as we get to the end of the budget session. Here's why I say that we should be paying for undocumented people to be on Minnesota Care. You're going to screw the hospitals otherwise. If you take away this insurance, you do not take away the ability for someone who's undocumented to go to the hospital. And I know some of you want to, but do you really want to do that? No. You don't have a choice. Denying people health insurance, health coverage, only screws the hospitals. Besides the fact that Republicans are either uninformed about how much money this program is costing Minnesota or they're lying about it. The Minnesota Reformer reporting the same thing. We had a Republican state rep on the show who was saying that giving undocumented people health insurance would cost Minnesota more than $600 million over 4 years. But the Department of Human Services is saying that, yes, they've had more people sign up for it than they thought, but they've had very minimal claims for service, 3,378 claims of service as of April 1st. So it's cost Minnesota about $3.3 billion. The state projection is that the cost will be $200 million, not $600 million. Now, $200 million over 4 years is not nothing, right? That's $50 million a year. That would cover what the XCel Energy Center was asking for, what St. Paul is asking for the X. But think of the bag you leave the hospitals with if there's no coverage for this. Does this really help people who are here illegally? I guess. But to me, it helps the hospitals, and our hospitals in this state are on the brink. They just are. So I urge you to think a little more deeply about this thing, because on the surface, I understand why you say, look, in times of challenge, we should be taking care of people who are here legally first. And I understand that sentiment. But for $50 million a year, you're just being vengeful. You're just being vengeful to me. If you want people who are here illegally to get out of here, well, then that's an immigration enforcement issue. That's a federal law issue. It's a big issue. I get that. But punishing the hospitals by saying we're going to end this insurance program based on misinformation and exaggerated data is pathetic. We're going to break. We're still in a rain delay for the Minnesota Twins. We will update you on that and CBS News next.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
It is Jason here, and the rain has my lawn ready to rock, and I cannot wait to see what the yard is going to look like thanks to the help of the team from Pro Turf. It already looks better than it did at this time last year. It's greening up. It's free of weeds. I started with the Pro Turf team last year, and this year is a no-brainer. I'm signing up right away. I cannot wait to have the in-person team where they come out, they give you an in-person estimate, they design a solution for your yard. Now, already I've had Pro Turf out to put down the crabgrass pre-emergent. So we're going to get that thing nice and green, no crabgrass in there. And I've had Pro Turf out to turn on my sprinkler system, which is so key. They replaced a rotor that was broken. That would have been squirting water all over the place. I would have been wasting water and wasting money. Pro Turf. You go online, professionalturf.com, or give them a call. 952-469-8680.
Where breaking news meets real-time reaction. News Talk 830 WCCO 102.9 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. There's been a shakeup in President Trump's cabinet. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is out. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe.
The word came that he was being ousted, and as is tradition, or as usually happens, the president makes it official on his social media platform by announcing the ouster and announcing who the successor is, and in this case, it's the Secretary of State.
The president said he's nominating Waltz to be ambassador to the UN. A federal judge has barred the Trump administration from deporting alleged Venezuelan gang members using a wartime law. CBS's Scott McFarland has more.
This is the latest in a series of courtroom losses for the Trump administration in its use of this 18th century emergency wartime power, Alien Enemies Act, to deport people, foreign nationals, without full due process. Several would-be deportees sued to stop their deportations in Texas, and a Brownsville, Texas judge ordered those individuals can't be deported through the Alien Enemies Act and must be deported through traditional means.
We're learning more about what may have led to a deadly crash into an after-school camp in central Illinois. No decision has been made to charge the 44-year-old driver. Brendan Kelly is director of the Illinois State Police.
Some evidence has been developed indicating the possibility of a medical emergency leading up to the crash. However, the investigation of this information and other evidence has not yet concluded.
3 children and a teenager were killed when the car crashed through the building. Christopher Cruz has the latest on efforts to hire more air traffic controllers.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said the FAA will provide new opportunities for military-trained controllers to enter the civilian workforce and give financial incentives to graduates of the Air Traffic Control Academy.
We're going to give those new graduates a $5,000 bonus.
Duffy says the system is safe now, but with the shortage in the towers, current air traffic controllers are under a lot of stress, and many are required to work overtime. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
Tariffs are weighing on the nation's corporations. General Motors pledged today to take additional steps to boost its U.S. supply chain after projecting a $4 to $5 billion hit to its earnings due to tariffs. Other corporations are being hard hit by Americans pulling back on their spending. Here's Jason Brooks.
McDonald's sustained its biggest sales decline since the COVID outbreak in 2020, with comparable sales dropping 3.6% in the first quarter compared to a year earlier. earlier. CEO Chris Kepczynski told McDonald's earnings call that middle-income consumer traffic fell nearly as much as lower-income consumer traffic, which was down double digits for the second straight quarter.
On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrials finished the day 83 points higher. This is CBS News.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at progressive.com.
Now from Minnesota's radio station, let's get you caught up with Minnesota's latest headlines and biggest stories on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy, 62 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. A Minnesota state trooper is charged in federal court with producing child pornography. The U.S. Attorney's Office says Jeremy Plonsky has been arrested on a federal warrant and is in custody. While details of the investigation have not been released, the head of the local FBI office calls the conduct alleged horrifying and a gross betrayal of public trust. Minnesota State Patrol Colonel Christina Tosi also calling the allegations appalling and indefensible, and that they fully support the federal investigation and prosecution. Plonsky has been a Minnesota State Trooper since 2022. He's being held in the Sherburne County Jail and faces a mandatory minimum of 15 years in prison if convicted. The Native American community in Minneapolis is in mourning today following a violent 24 hours where 9 people were shot and 5 died. At Cedar Field Park in South Minneapolis, a prayer service was held to support each other today. Executive Director of the Minneapolis American Indian Center, Mary Lagarde, says everyone is hurting.
If we don't know those that were shot and killed, we know their families.
The deadly violence began late Tuesday night when 5 people were shot in the Midtown Phillips neighborhood. 3 of the victims, including a 17-year-old boy, died. Wednesday, 3 other shootings with 2 more dead. Police Chief Brian O'Hara says they have good leads and are hoping for an arrest soon.
It would feel better if we had the individuals in custody, but I feel about as good as you could without that.
He says they do have extra patrols in the area. The city of St. Paul and Minnesota Wild are hoping $50 million will sound a lot better than more than $300 million as they revamp their request for state funding to renovate the XCel Energy Center. Wild owner Craig Leipold says they've decided to focus solely on the 25-year-old arena and put off planned renovations for the adjacent River Center Convention Hall and Roy Wilkins Auditorium.
The amenities that we have for our fans are way outdated. This arena was designed back in the late 1990s, and so many new things have happened that we think it's important to fix the arena and fix it right.
Leipold says with only 3 weeks left in the legislative session, he'll be doing all he can to push the plan forward. He says he's optimistic about lawmakers' support. The Minnesota Senate has unanimously passed a bill to rename a Minneapolis bridge in honor of the late Senate Majority Leader Carrie Dietzick. Dietzick died in December after battling cancer. The bill calls for the 10th Avenue Bridge spanning the Mississippi River near her old district to be renamed the Minnesota Senate Majority Leader Carrie Dietzick Memorial Bridge. And the Minnesota DNR says more than 221,000 fishing licenses have been sold already ahead of next week's walleye opener, with that number growing today thanks to Governor Walz.
With a swipe of a card, Governor Tim Walz officially purchased his fishing license ahead of next week's Governor's Fishing opener in Cross Lake.
They know they've got an incredible chain of lakes up there, incredible opportunities. I think the rest of Minnesota, we're all going to join them here in about 8 days or 9 days and have a great experience.
The Cross Lake area is hosting the fishing opener for the first time ever. Minnesota Department of Natural Resources Commissioner Sarah Stroman.
Fishing license sales are up about 10% over where we were this time last year. So I do think probably early ice out had something to do with that.
In St. Paul, Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
In WCCO News Time is 4:06.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
Slowdowns in place, 169 both directions between Medicine Lake Road and Highway 62. East 62 slowing as you make way between Gleason heading out to Cedar Avenue. 10 westbound got your afternoon jam up in place. Egret heading up to Round Lake Boulevard over on the east side of the metro. 52 northbound is jammed up Plato to 94. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
At Newgate School, we've turned donated cars into success stories. For 49 years, we've helped underserved young adults in the Twin Cities learn automotive repair skills with zero tuition. Your vehicle donation can teach, fund, and also provide reliable transportation for single moms. Learn more at newgateschool.org.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
Brought to you by the Newgate School. Newgate School, changing lives for over 45 years. And here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The rain showers move out, and at first, you won't like what's moving in. Cooler air. 44 to start tomorrow morning, only warming to 54 in the afternoon with a mostly cloudy sky. Then the weekend comes knocking and things get awesome. Mostly sunny, stretching up near 70 on Saturday, sunny and up around 75 on Sunday.
Cloudy right now, 62 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
No suit, no tie, just DERUSHA. It's drive time. Live from the WCCO studios, high atop the Odyssey Tower.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise.
I'm super excited to introduce to you
Jason DERUSHA.
All right, here we go. It is 4 o'clock. We are in rain delay for the Minnesota Twins. So if you're a Twins fan and you've been waiting to find out what's going to happen with the Twins in Cleveland, you're stuck. You got to wait a little bit longer. We are in delay as well. 2-2 is the score. The Twins in the top of the 8th. And this is the last of a 4-game series. So it's on to Boston next. So they have they can wait this thing out. They're in no giant hurry.
No.
The Twins, I don't know if you're like a lot of our texters, Josh Wheeler, who's in for Dan today. A lot of our texters are saying, you know what, like the way the Twins have been playing in the late innings, maybe we should just call it. Give them another
like
come
I
on
said,
back.
You can't lose.
If you start playing, well, then they'll resume it, right?
Yeah.
We don't have ties in baseball.
No. That's no fun.
No. So
can't win the Central pennant with ties.
No. So we're tied up 2-2. The Minnesota Wild are playing at 6:30 tonight. They are here in the Twin Cities, do or die. They got to win to keep playing, to get to Game 7. Lots of texts coming in about the topic that we discussed at the end of the last hour. And because of that, I thought I'd give you a chance to weigh in. I'll recap what my take is on undocumented people who are here illegally and getting health care from the state of Minnesota. Republicans have said this is their line in the sand in budget negotiation. They want to get rid of a program that gave money to undocumented people here in Minnesota. Republicans are saying it's going to cost $600 million over 4 years. The state is saying, no, it's probably going to cost $200 million over 4 years. Either way, there are some of you who are saying, you know what? It should be $0. My view is that you got to provide insurance for people because this doesn't really make a huge difference in the life of the individual. This is about not leaving our hospitals throughout Minnesota with a giant bill because they got to treat people. If someone comes to the door, the hospital is stuck with the fact that we've done a crappy job protecting our borders and we've had no very reasonable immigration policy in this country for the last 40 years. 651-461-9226. A lot of you disagree and say, you know what, too bad. Jason, probably the reason why so many illegals are signing up for health care is that they're afraid they're going to be deported. Another texter, if I went to any other country, I don't believe they give insurance to anyone else, let alone free coverage. It may help protect our health care facilities, but my wife and I have insurance and have always paid our bills and continue to pay. She has had cancer for the last 10 years, and we continue to give up other things in our lives because we have to pay deductibles and other out-of-pocket expenses. So there's a theory, and then there's reality. That is a good theoretical conversation. We'll get back to that in a minute. Do we have some breaking news, Laura?
We
Laura
do.
Oakes is here.
Yes, we do, Jason. We just got word from the Minneapolis Police Department that they have made an arrest in yesterday's shooting in South Minneapolis.
Okay.
That was believed to be connected to a shooting on Tuesday night. The chief is going to have a press conference at 4:45 to explain what they know here.
Okay.
We will also hear from the U.S. Marshal's Office and the FBI. But the good news is an arrest has been made, at least in yesterday's shooting. This one is in the area of the 1500 block of East 25th Street. So more to come in our news at 5.
And this is, we really have so many questions because here in Minneapolis, over the last 20 hours or so, 5 were killed in 3 different shootings.
Right.
But a lot of this is centered on near like Cedar Field Park, kind of in the Native American neighborhood over there.
Yes. They do believe it was gang activity.
They think it's gang activity.
Yes, for sure.
And we don't know if like it was retaliation for the first one or what exactly, but maybe we'll find out more in that news conference at 5 o'clock?
4:45. So hopefully we'll know more by our 5 o'clock news. If not, we'll bring it when we have it.
But at least one arrest in yesterday's shooting.
Yes.
Very good. Laura, thanks for breaking in with that. We appreciate it. Newsroom will update you for sure on this. Boy, this is another troubling scenario in our community this week, right? And it's a reminder of part of what, man, gangs are a real issue in this state, in this community. And it's tough. I feel like we don't talk about gangs as much as probably police and law enforcement are looking into gangs. I don't know if part of the reason we don't have much conversation about it is that people want to have that the police or the politicians or whatever want to have sort of the vibe that like, oh, you know, things are getting better, things are safe, don't worry about the gangs. There is a certain degree of like, I don't know, this sounds crass, but when you have gang violence, for the most part, it's gangbangers killing other gangbangers.
Yep.
And you worry, like, obviously any life being taken is one too many. But a lot of us don't worry about that sort of stuff because you just think there's no way that affects your life.
Correct.
Now, what concerns me is that these shootings have happened, like, I think the one yesterday was at 7:45 p.m. It's still light out. It's not even in the middle of the night. I mean, 7:45 p.m. is daylight.
Yes.
You know, I mean, the fact that these gangbangers are so either unconcerned about punishment or so caught up in their life of crime that they're so caught up in the vengeance or the retribution or the retaliation or whatever it is that drove this really intense 24-hour period of violence in our community, that they just don't care. And you say, like, is that because we don't have enough punishments, or is that just these are lost people? That we lost these young people. One of the people killed was 17, 20-year-old twins were shot late Thursday. One survived, one didn't. I mean, the other shooting was like 1 p.m. 1 p.m. The first shooting was around midnight. And so, I don't know. Like, I'm no cop. I'm not the U.S. Marshals. But it doesn't take a genius, Josh, to say like, all centered around the sort of the Red Lake part of the community. So it's all Native American victims. Native American gangs is what police are saying. It doesn't take a genius to say, like, these are probably all connected, right?
Yeah. Eventually, you're able to slowly but surely connect the dots with these.
But we're talking like 17, 18, 19, 20.
It's a very close clump, yes.
Yeah. All right, Laura with the update. And then we'll get an update from police coming up at 4:45. We are in rain delay of the Minnesota Twins. We decided to take it. So you didn't have to hear
Jim Cott.
Story, like the history.
Walter Johnson's no-hitter. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Let's break. We'll come back. We're a little all over the place, but that's sort of what happens sometimes. When news breaks, we break in. That's what we do here on News Talk 830 and Drive Time with DERUSHA.
More Drive Time with DERUSHA is on the way following these messages on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, it's Jason here for Livia Weight Control Centers. You know that summer is coming. And did you know that if you jump in today, you can lose 20 pounds or more by the start of summer? Livia absolutely transformed my life. And when I started with Livia almost 3 years ago now, I started in the summer. It was here's the thing. If you are looking to lose weight, you're probably like I was. You have a million excuses. Well, I got this coming up, and then I got that coming up, and then it's my wife's birthday, and then I'm going out of town. There's always stuff. What you can do is control today. Join Livia now, and you get 50% off their award-winning nutrition program. They have the best prices on medical weight loss products in the business, those GLP-1 weight loss medications that have been so effective. But, man, you supercharge it when you do it the Livia way. You get that one-on-one nutritional support, that personalized program designed just for you, because losing weight is one thing. Keeping weight off, come on. It's been 2.5 years for me. I'm down 45 pounds. You can do it, too. You need help, though. Reach out to Livia, livia.com. Or 855-GO-LIVIA, LIVEA.com. Make the call and join Livia today.
Advantage Seamless Gutters is now Advantage Home Pros. New look, same pros. Still locally owned and now taking care of all your gutter and roofing needs. Spring cleanup is just around the corner. Don't spend your weekends on a ladder cleaning your gutters when you could be spending time with family and planning that fishing trip. Trust your local gutter pros, Advantage Home Pros. Now your local custom roofing pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials. Our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros, AdvantageHomePros.com.
Hey, it's Vanita. The easy way to do something isn't always the smart way to do it. When you're selling your home, you might think that one of those instant cash offers is always the way to go. Most of them are for nowhere close to what your home is worth. You are much better off calling my friend, the good neighbor agent, John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. They just helped Doug sell his home. He was moving out of state, wanted to sell his home fast. He reached out to 5 of those cash offer investors to make instant offers. He decided to call John, though, and see if he could get more money. John assured him that he could, and he did. John sold his home for $75,000 more than the highest instant offer Doug received. It paid off. Contact John for full details. 952-222-9000 online. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Mike Lynch for Donahue's Greenhouse in Faribault, Minnesota, where you drive a little and save a lot. Everything is grown at Donahue's. It's been that way for over 50 years. Great quality and a wonderful staff. For hours and directions, check out their website at Donahue'sGreenhouse.com.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 20% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO.
Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Headlines that keep you informed. Conversations that pull you in. News Talk 830 WCCO.
So today at my kids' high school was decision day. Decision day. I kind of love that they do this for all of the kids. All the seniors at Maple Grove High School today, and I think this is true at high schools all around the Twin Cities, because this is the day by which, if you're a senior committing to a college, you had to commit by today. When I was in school, nobody cared. Well, there was no social media.
Yeah.
There's no internet. So there's no decision day, right? Because what would you do?
Yeah.
Like, I was going to wear my Marquette University sweatshirt, and somebody would get out their Kodachrome, rectangular film camera and do a little and advance the film and, take the picture, and there you go. And then 3 months later, they develop it. Like, I don't know. But today at Maple Grove High School, the kids, so like Sam had his sweatshirt on of the college he's committed to. We put out, and they've been posting on social media, like the pictures of like all the different colleges that kids are going to. And some are going to trade school and some are going to the military, and they're celebrating too, and they're wearing their T-shirts and everything. And I just think it's so cool. It's so much fun. Like, would you have wanted that? Now, Josh, you're a youngster. Did they do this when you were in school? Like a decision day?
For athletes.
Yeah,
that
right.
was about it. That was,
correct.
You throw on the hat, you throw on the jersey, sweater, whatever it is, and
you'd have the athletes down
Yeah. You get it's a 15-minute ceremony, boom, done.
And they do it at the gym, at the
lunch,
gym,
yes.
and here's at the end of lunch. Yes. Where'd you go to high school?
Osseo.
Yeah.
2011.
And you had a couple of kids go on scholarship to play.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple people who went to NDSU for football and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then year
pretty
before
cool.
us was Sam Dower. He was the big basketball prodigy that went to Gonzaga for a few years. And yeah, it's not much coming out of Osseo. But yeah, there was a lot of good athletes that were involved each year in the decision day. So.
Right. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
At Maple Grove, so like the question we had to face is they do this thing. Is this cool or dumb? 651-461-9226. So they do this thing called a bed party.
Mm.
Do you know what a bed party is? Easy.
I don't know if I want to know.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's college related.
Yep.
So people parents like have school gear like throwing up all over your kid's bedroom. So the kid comes home from school.
Mm-hmm.
And, whatever, NDSU gear is everywhere. T-shirts and streamers and pennants and snacks and whatever. It is my instinct to, like, crap on these things and say that they're dumb and we didn't need this and back in our day we just went, you know what, I think it's so fun. It's all cool.
Hindsight is 20/20. Yeah.
I'm for it.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that I wish I would have consumed more in high school as far as reflection and stuff like that.
I just think that the fact that the school is not just celebrating the athlete.
Mm-hmm.
So decision day is sort of an ESPN creation, right? Where you have like the hats and like, where am I going to go? I don't know. And then you do it. The fact that the kids who are going to Duluth and the kids who are going to Mankato and the kids who are going to North Hennepin Community, all those kids are being celebrated today. They're wearing their stuff. They're having their moment. the schools all have like these Instagram pages now. So like Sam was and is the class president at Maple Grove High School. And part of what Sam and his girlfriend do is they run the Maple Grove kind of senior class brag page. It's where you post your ridiculous senior picture that you hired someone to take. Did you have fancy senior pictures?
Not really. Kind of just like
a regular picture.
Mom's friend.
Yep.
Had a nice camera, paid couple hundred for it, and
right.
boom.
Did you do props? Did you have a prop?
Not really. No. I mean, I think maybe baseball, but my memory is not that great. I'm old.
I graduated in 89. Were you alive?
Nope, 92.
Just turn the transmitter off right now. I like that they do the stuff, that they celebrate the stuff. I think it's fantastic. And even the ridiculousness of the bedroom, the room party. I think it's great. Now, I don't remember senior pictures being a thing. Today, if you're a Minnesota high school senior, you have to make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Your senior picture will either have you in a field, some sort of field, like sunflowers behind you.
So cliche.
Wild grasses. Another choice. What is the premier senior picture background? Is it outstanding in your field? Is it autumn colors?
I mean, you're Mr. Instagram. I think you would know.
Is it? Well, I'm just saying, what is the best?
I think
you do the city. What about you come down and do the
fields are pretty
skyline?
Yeah.
Seth was like, there is no way that I want a stupid field behind me. I don't need the wheat. I don't need the tall glasses.
Plain.
We just didn't do anything. We didn't do any of this stuff. And I'm sort of like, all right, like, the funny thing about the senior picture is like, what do you do? What do you do with these pictures? Like my friend, a former TV photographer from Channel 4, Carly Danek.
Mm-hmm.
Carly Danek took Seth's senior pictures and Sam's senior pictures, which is so cool because Carly Danek and I were working together at Channel 4 a lot when those kids were born. How cool is that? When Alyssa had Sam, Carly made a CD. Her gift to us was a CD full of songs for Sam. So they're all songs about Sam. And then Sam, as he's ready to graduate high school, Carly took the pictures. Very cool. But I have 140 photos of Sam DeRusha, which if any of you want to buy a print, I guess I could send. Like, what are we doing with all these photos? I was looking at my computer the other day, Josh. I have 12,000 photos on my computer of what? Probably 10,000 of them are dinners. Do I have more photos of pizza and burgers or of my family? Hard to say. We're going to do DeRusha Eats in just a minute. And a texter really enjoyed my description of the Kodak moment. She pointed out that her mom popping off the flash cube, licking the bulb, and popping it back on just before the snap to make sure the bulb would flash. I totally remember that. Oh, my gosh. You kids have it so easy with your iPhones, your digital SLR cameras. You never run out of film. Oh, it's pretty good. New York-based famous chef teaming up with Caribou Coffee coming to town this weekend. We're going to talk cookies. Christina Tosi, Milk Bar, joins us next on CCO.
What's happening now?
The stock market is a complete fiasco, and when you look at the Twins, the versatility and the depth is great, but we need stability.
What's coming next?
What is the treatment for Trump derangement syndrome?
What it means.
Equivalent to gas prices. Imagine if grocery stores had to put the price of eggs outside the store.
In Jordana's world of rainbows and unicorns, cell phones should not be allowed in school.
Why it matters.
Cutting waste is one thing, but really impacting kids gets me fired up.
News Talk 830 WCCO.
Free estimate, Pro Turf, professional turf. It's Jason here for the Pro Turf team. I love my partnership with Pro Turf because you know how much I care about having my lawn look great. It is a sanctuary when it comes to those kind of summer months that are right around the corner. Make sure your lawn is ready to go. And more importantly, make sure your landscape is something that you're proud of. Pro Turf can help you out with both of those things. If you go to their website, professionalturf.com, and I have the website up if you're watching us on our stream right now on YouTube, you can go to the landscaping section and flip through all these photos that kind of show these before and after of these wonderful projects they've done. And they can do it all. Frankly, you might just hate your landscaping. You want your old trees and shrubs and perennials kind of yanked out of there. They can do it. You want a natural stone patio, concrete pavers, new driveway, new walkways, they got you. How about retaining walls with blocks and boulder and natural stone? They can even do smaller projects, like they're coming to my yard to do a mulch installation and getting rid of all of they're going to haul away the junk from the natural grasses being cut down. Whatever you need, Pro Turf is there for you. The website is professionalturf.com. The phone number is 952-469-8680. But go to professionalturf.com today.
I'm Karen Heinz with Baird Private Wealth Management. For many of us, life is busy. Balancing family, career, friends, and community, plus finding the time and focus to keep your family's financial plan on track can be a challenge. At Baird, we understand. Our advisors partner with you to create a financial plan that's uniquely yours, one that gives you peace of mind and confidence so you can focus on what matters most. Discover the Baird difference. Visit BairdTwinCities.com.
The peace lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or go online at carsforkids.org to donate today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
Press working 35W northbound near County Road 10 off to the right side. It is slow as you come up from 694. 694, that's jammed up both directions between Victoria Street and Highway 252. 494 northbound. Watching the on and off slowdowns there as you come up from Highway 62 all the way up into the Fish Lake interchange. Then if you're traveling Cedar South, got some slowdowns there. Old Chalkery Road heading down to Highway 13. Terry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Auto Owners is local, personal, and affordable. That's simple human sense.
Ask Miller Hartwig Insurance in Lakeville if auto owners make sense for you.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
Weather's brought to you by Miller Hartwig in Lakeville, proudly representing auto owners insurance. Here's Chris Schaefer.
Rain showers move out tonight, falling back to 44. Tomorrow's going to be the coolest day of the week, only a high of 54. At least it's Friday. We'll have a mostly cloudy sky, then the sunshine breaks out this weekend. Sunny both days, highs up near 70 Saturday, near 75 on Sunday.
Little bit of line of rain moving through the Twin Cities from the west, right through the metro right now. It's 65 on CCO.
More facts, fewer cat videos. Keep up on what matters to you on all our social pages. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Big time James Beard Award chef is coming to the Twin Cities this weekend, and it's because of cookies. We're going to talk with Christina Tosi in DERUSHA Eats, brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board and Certix.
He has the eats. Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like our favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard as Drive Time transitions into DERUSHA Eats.
Christina Tosi, the chef and owner of Milk Bar, is bringing her cookies to a Twin Cities-based coffee operation, and Christina's with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Christina, good to visit with you.
Hey, John, how are you?
I'm doing outstanding. Tell us about how you ended up, and people maybe know Milk Bar because your cookies are in stores all around the country. I know you did a partnership with a Twin Cities chef for like a sort of Christmas time cookie box. Christina Wen collaborated with one of your cookies. But tell us how you ended up working with Caribou.
I mean, well, first of all, it's like two brands run by people that just believe in like the need for everyday celebration, right? Good day, bad day, just showing up with great, delicious things in life to just make it better. And we're about to launch, or we're officially launching our confetti cookie, like the Milk Bar iconic confetti cookie that tastes just like our birthday layer cake, Taylor Swift's favorite every year. Our cornflake chocolate chip marshmallow cookie. It's like a chocolate chip cookie, but there's texture and there's goo, all the things we need in a cookie. And our brown butter chocolate chip super crunchy cookies. They're all coming to every Caribou coffee house nationwide, but most importantly, we are coming in hot to Minneapolis. I freaking love Minneapolis so much. This Saturday to hang out with anyone and everyone that wants to come by, say hi, taste all the new menu items, get their brand new Bake Club cookbook signed in search of Mother's Day gifts. We got you.
Very smart. Yes. Yes, and moms love cookies. You know, that's just the reality.
Moms love cookies.
Do you look at
love a strong cup of coffee?
Well, correct. That is for sure. Do you look at? I mean, I know your story is and your rise. It hasn't been an overnight success, but it has been an amazing journey from where you started. You were not intending to spend your life as a baker, were you?
Oh my gosh, no, Jason. I went to school to be a mechanical engineer, and then I ended up graduating with degrees in applied mathematics and the Italian language because they were the two classes that I loved going to more than anything else. Like, give me a math problem,
right,
or give me something to translate. But when it was time to sort of get onto that like grown-up track, I just asked myself. I was raised by two parents from the Midwest that were super passionate professionals, a passionate accountant, a passionate agricultural economist. And the only thing I was raised was that what you choose to do for a living, it's something that you're passionate about, that drives you, that excites you every single day without tiring. So I sort of said to myself, all right, girlfriend, what's it going to be? Are you going to be like a mathematician, a translator? And my answer to myself was, no, I want to make cookies for the rest of my life. Like that is that's the thing I could do day in and day out every single day and never tire of it. And
Christina,
I went to go,
as a dad,
move to New York City, be a professional. I know.
Yeah,
making cookies is the answer.
I would
Talk to me.
I feel like I would freak out, like I got one kid who's going to NYU right now. I got another kid about to go to USC. Both of them are kind of nerds. I'm like, if they said, you know what I'm going to do? Cook. I'm going to bake cookies. I think I would lose my mind. Were your parents supportive or like?
It's a good question. I think they had a hard time at first.
Yes,
they never
of course.
outwardly said, "Heck no, you can't go," right? Because if you're a parent, you're freaking out under the surface, but you're really trying to help your child see who they are and make space for that. But we work so hard. I'm a parent too, and you work so hard to create this bright, brilliant future for your kid. But then you have to remember that, like, there's that trust factor, that trust fall of, like, your kid's going to be able to find themselves in joy and passion and invigoration and success. And it may not look like a straight and narrow path that's easy to understand.
Yeah.
Most of the best parts of life, they aren't straight and narrow. Like, they're a joyful, adventurous journey. That's what mine's been up until this point. Now my parents, I think, have finally been like, oh my gosh, I can get a confetti cookie at Caribou? Okay. Like, I can calm down. She might be okay. Like, we might be okay.
I'm pretty sure when Milk Bar like really kind of hit it big, your parents were probably I think she knew what she was doing. It worked out all right. Maybe when you're a pastry chef at Momofuku, maybe they were like, I don't know about this life, but like it's turned out pretty good for you, hasn't it?
I think doing whatever you do passionately will always lead to success. I think success can be your measure first and foremost, but I think as long as you're doing that, like, you're never going to tire of it. You're going to have an insatiable work ethic and hunger and curiosity for bettering yourself and the craft that you choose.
Well, that's the key, because
I
disagree that like just straight up doing something you're passionate is enough. You nailed it. It is the fact that you couple that with the work ethic, with the curiosity. Like that's the superpower. Just one, I don't think is enough.
I probably like being raised by a mother that was an accountant, right? Like, I had the acumen of, you know what I mean? Like, I was taught to balance my checkbook early on, all these sorts of things. But you are right. It's not, life is not an art project, right? But as long as you keep it as a passionate pursuit, you will always figure out how to unlock the things you need to survive and thrive.
I love that.
And sometimes all roads lead to cookies.
Well, and that's what I wanted to ask you about. I mean, obviously, and you'll be able to get Milk Bar cookies now in Caribou, which it is interesting how Caribou, I go to Caribou for coffee, but I'm sort of in the minority. People go to Caribou for beverages, for drinks, for experiences. The beverage sector has just exploded, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
But, you look at the business success, which is amazing, but also you think about like how much joy you've provided people through a cookie. Like a cookie is like it's an edible embodiment of joy.
It is like the ultimate Trojan horse into people's lives. I'm an introvert, believe it or not. And when I decided to open Milk Bar, I was like, here's my plan. We're going to sell cookies, cake, pie, and ice cream, like the most simple dessert formats, because they're desserts that people know, desserts that people trust. And from there, we can do all of our work and we can tinker and find these really cool textures and flavors and combinations. And we can put our art and our craft into it. Yeah. But the beauty, the humility of a cookie, the transportability of a cookie, and what it feels like when someone hands you a cookie, right? It's so simple. It's something you know from your childhood, but it can meet you at any point in life and still move you. But there is your right and altruism to bakers, right? It's like there is so much goodness that comes in the delivery of a simple, delicious baked good.
No doubt that, well, already the texters and Chris, who's listening on YouTube, is wanting to know how I didn't make you come into studio with cookies. It's fair. It's fair. It's fair, Chris.
I mean, listen, I'll pop by tomorrow. I'll pop by tomorrow with my big, like Santa Claus bag of cornflake chocolate chip marshmallow cookies and confetti cookies.
Do you ever
more.
just want to bring a bottle of wine to somebody's house and not have to bring cookies?
No,
like, don't people just always expect cookies?
I was just raised. I was raised by like the matriarchs in my family. We baked, and that's what we brought. Like, you bring a plate of something. And it is my favorite part about it is you become instant best friends with all the kids, right? Because they're like, whoa, it's a grown-up that's also carrying dessert. Like, this is unheard of. And then the adults, like, there's this thing that happens when you bring a bottle of wine, the adults are happy, but they're still in adult land. When you bring a dessert, a plate of brownies, right? Like gooey, fudgy, underbaked brownies, even the adults become kids for a minute. There's like this permissibility to just shed the skin of like the woulda, coulda, shoulda of the day. And it's one of my favorite things. And it's just the simplest thing. And that's my, like, if you don't even think you're a baker, you're like, that's easy for you. You bake every day. We just wrote this incredible cookbook. We have this incredible online club called Bake Club that anyone and everyone can join. And anyone that's in the neighborhood on Saturday can come by and get a copy, and I'll sign it for them. Keep it for yourself, give it to mom, whatever it is, so that you can also be the bearer of that, like, goodness, that good feeling.
All right, shops at West End in St. Louis Park. Right. It's called the Bodega. It's like a Caribou pop-up, but you can find Milk Bar cookies at all the stores, I think, already. You can see them now. Yeah. But go see Christina this weekend. Right. 10 to 1 is when the pop-up is Saturday, and you'll be greeting people like around noonish, I think. So good stuff.
That's right, 11:30 to 12:30. I'll be there.
Perfect.
But it's only because I'm going to stop in and give you some cookies for...
You better. You better.
For having me on.
Christina, it's so great to visit with you. Really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time.
You as well. Thank you. Happy Thursday.
That's Christina Tosi. Milk Bar. Now you can get your cookie at your local Caribou. Good news. The Twins are going to play again. 4:55 is when they get back to action. We'll join the broadcast a little bit earlier. That is DERUSHA Eats, brought to you by Surdix and the Minnesota Pork Board.
More Drive Time with DERUSHA is on the way following these messages on News Talk 830 WCCO.
We could not bring you DERUSHA Eats without the support of 3,000 family farmers in every corner of this state. Minnesota Pork is not just an organization, it's people. It's pork farmers living all over Minnesota, taking care of their employees, certainly taking care of their animals, and they're also taking care of the planet. We've been talking on the show quite a bit to pig farmers about the sustainability practices that they're engaged in, the way that they are taking manure from the pigs and using that to fertilize the field. And they're making sure, using incredible AI, high-tech satellite technology, that they're using just the exact correct amount of fertilizer because they want to keep the nutrients in the soil alive and make sure they're not over-fertilizing the water nearby. Because your pig farmers are so often, generation after generation, family farmers that want to pass down that farm to the next generation. It should make you feel good when you go to your grocery store, go to your butcher shop, and say, let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Advantage Seamless Gutters is now Advantage Home Pros. New look, same pros. Still locally owned and now taking care of all your gutter and roofing needs. Spring cleanup is just around the corner. Don't spend your weekends on a ladder cleaning your gutters when you could be spending time with family and planning that fishing trip. Trust your local gutter pros, Advantage Home Pros. Now your local custom roofing pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials. Our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros, AdvantageHomePros.com.
Hey, it's Vanita. If your kids have moved out and you have more space in your home than you need, you've probably thought about downsizing and moving somewhere that would require less maintenance. Wouldn't that be nice? If you want to buy a new home, selling the one you're living in now is probably how you would afford it. You need to work with my friend, the Good Neighbor Agent. John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. Catherine decided to hire the Schuster Group. John's experience and responsiveness really stood out to her. She hired them, and John made the process as quick and easy as possible. That meant 4 offers in 4 days and an offer for thousands over asking price. It made buying her next home much easier. Catherine's happy that she hired John Schuster. Contact John for full details, 952-222-9000, online, johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Johns Hopkins University has found that just mild hearing loss doubles your risk of dementia, so hearing loss isn't something to ignore.
But hearing aids are so expensive and ugly.
Not anymore. Meet Audion Hearing. You can get nearly invisible hearing aids without a prescription starting at $98 a pair, and they're ready to use right out of the box. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, and with over 1 million customers, Audion is easy to trust. Visit audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Are you a small business owner who needs immediate cash flow? At Swish Funding, we have flexible funding options from $25,000 to $2 million. For the best rates and terms for your business, just one application to Swish Funding gives you access to our entire network of funders, with cash in your account in as little as 24 hours. To qualify, you must be in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000. Apply at swishradio.com and use code RADIO. Swishradio.com, code RADIO.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
35W northbound near County Road 10, crash off to the right side. Get ready for the slowdowns here. The crosstown is slow in both directions between Cedar and 169. 194 northbound congested Excelsior to Fish Lake Interchange. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
It's the Aquarius Home Services and Connecticut Customer Appreciation and Open House event. Huge savings on Connecticut water treatment systems, new heating and cooling systems, filters, and more. May 2nd through 4th in Little Canada at 694 and 35E. Details at aquariushomeservices.com.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
All right, let's update you on the weather. Tonight, the showers move out, low of 44. Tomorrow, high of 54, mostly cloudy. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 70. Going to be 75 on Sunday. Holy moly. Your derby parties are going to be fantastic if you're going out to Canterbury. It's going to be spectacular. Weather brought to you by Aquarius Home Services. And why not celebrate the weather by going to the Connecticut Customer Appreciation Open House event? Right now in downtown Minneapolis, it is 65, a little drizzle on CCO. Oh, yes. Well, the Twins are going to play. They're getting back to it in just a minute. We're tied up at 2 in Cleveland. Top of the 8th, the Twins will be batting. The rain has moved out of Cleveland. And so here we go. Let's get you back to the Twins radio network where they will bring you live action here in the home of the Twins. We probably won't be back with you. Henry will be on after that. But you can catch up on our show by checking us out on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com and visit the WCCO Radio YouTube account. Thanks for listening, everybody. Here come the Twins.
Indiana. Again, the field looks, all things considered, fantastic. They have really done a good job on the infield.